It's been a while since I made another video. I was the last time I made a video. I think we were at around $100 in the account, and I was doing 2 cents, 5 cents Zoom poker. I started taking shots at 20 NL, 6 max, not Zoom, and we ran pretty good for a while. We ran it up to about $190. Was crushing there, and then I was forward tabling with $25 each on a Friday night. There's a bunch of crazy people on, and we ran pretty bad and lost a lot of money, so we're down to like $100. But thankfully, I found out that Zoom Poker at the 20 NL is quite beatable because I am over $320 in the bank account now. So we'll just start the video right now. I've basically been using the same strategy as 5NL Zoom Poker, just a little bit tighter. I thought maybe they would be better at these stakes, which I'm sure they have to be a little bit, but they still don't seem that good. So I recorded a nice session. I've been playing a lot. I didn't play for like a few weeks, or like a week or two, but the last 2 days I've been on quite the heater. As you can see, just flop top 2. And we raise. Kind of weird. I don't know if I like min raising here. I think I might like making either really big or just calling, because if he has tens plus, he's gonna call pretty much anything. If he's a flush draw, he's probably gonna just jam it in, and if we just smooth call and he has ace high, he'll probably continue. So I don't like my sizing here. We'll see his exact hand after this hand completes, but he calls and then we turn a boat. So I'm gonna check back because in case he has like the ace of spades and a spade comes or whatever, and he checks, so I'm obviously gonna bet. I think 350 is a good size. I'm just hoping he calls with maybe hit that queen, or if he has a 7, I imagine he'd bet turn, but he tanks and calls. And I go back here to find his hand. Kind of took a little while, so we'll just go fast forward here. I should find it here in 1 second. Yeah, so he had sixes. So I think considering his exact hand, I think we played the hand just fine, because when we check back turn, I think if I bet turn, he'll probably fold, and I think he would have called the bigger raise on the flop because it's unlikely I have a 7. But I think all in all, we played that hand fine and got off to a nice little start. Ace 5 is just a little too loose. I've been using different strategies for min raising or making it 3x. As of now, I've been basically min raising just about everything. I min raise every big hand, being queens plus, because people tend to not believe you, but they like the re-raise a lot more in these stakes. I fold ace jack, which is kind of speculative. Could go either way. I think there you could call, but I think folding is just fine. I'm not going to be ecstatic about getting it on an ace high or jack high board. So get 2 tens, make it 3x. He folds. I decide to float here because when people lead, I really just don't believe them that often. Because if you had a jack, I don't think you would lead here. Majority of the time, I think you would check and try to get a bet out of someone, or if you had fives. So when he leads, I decide to float because it seems like a good time. And I'm going to take a stab. I was going to check raise turn, but I decided to take a stab and make it look like I have a jack and want to call. And our little float works, and we scoop that pot. And this is what I'm talking about. They just love to min raise you, or just keep re-raising you. So I think there's merit to just calling here in this exact spot. But I'm not sure what he does because he folds. I think because he's pretty short, I pretty much would just should maybe called and just went with the hand no matter what. But I guess taking it down, can't get a bad beat, so can't complain too much. A7 might call on the button for 50 cents. I just can't fold. Well, now I can. So, it's been going really good the last day and a half here. Because I was playing just the 6 maxes, and they do get slow. I really wish I could afford table Zoom poker, or zone poker. But unfortunately, I cannot. And we just return the super nuts. And he leads into us, which is always great. So we have the absolute best hand we can have, and the opponent is betting into us. So, if we raise, what will he call us with? If he has a jack, then we should raise. If he has a queen, though, I think we should just call, because if an 8 comes, we get his whole stack. I do re-raise. Kind of, I think I maybe like calling. And then he played it like he had a jack, so I think I can comfortably bet pretty large, and he'll call. And I do, and he snap calls. We show him the nuts straight, so I'm assuming he has a jack. And I'm going to go hunting for it. I was thinking Zoom poker, I get so many more hands. It's obviously because I'm playing far more hands an hour, but I just seem to get way better hands constantly. He had Queen Jack. It's just fairly standard. So we scooped a nice pot there. And not the best flop for jacks, pretty much the absolute worst. And we will just probably check it down, and we get counterfeited. So, probably could have bet flop and him fold, or I just can't believe I was down. I was under $100 for a while, and I just started grinding it back up. It feels good to have over $300, and I'm pretty excited to keep continuing playing zone poker at this stakes because I think it's pretty beatable. Obviously, it's pretty easy to say when you see what happens. I hit some great spots. I could have called there maybe, but it's been weird calling any river bet. So I'm alright with folding the deuces. It just seemed a little suspicious. 6-8 I don't mind calling. Could re-raise 6-8 suited, probably a more profitable play. Make it 225 and I think we are far more likely to win those kind of boards, but I don't see how I'm winning that hand at all, so I'll just skip it. Pick up some aces and jacks. And could call, but there's just too many people in this pot. I'm going to have to pump it up. And I hate my call over here with jacks. I really do. And then it's just everybody calls. So, am I scared of that board? Not too much. Queen 10's in the range. And this guy just donks pot into 3 more people. And need ace 5. I kind of made the hero call. Let's see if I 3-bet jacks. Ace 5 doesn't get in there. And he's all in with 5s, which just, it seems absolutely absurd to me. I saw that queen, I just remember thinking, I'm toast. But no, he had just pocket 5s. So we're off to a good start, up about $20 so far. Not the worst flop. Couldn't have the best hand. Decide to fold though. Standard raise. Pretty good flop on the right. The Broadway draw. Gotta call for that price. Do I like chasing straights on paired and double flush boards? Nope. Do I probably call? Yep. Could check back over there. It's unlikely he has an ace. And we just brick it. Yeah, I like folding. I was going to say I don't like calling. With ace 5 in there. I'm obviously going to call with the 5s. And I'm done with that hand. I didn't like folding this hand, especially because people just tend to see min raises as weak, but I let it go and everyone folds. But I would definitely like to take a flop with a hand as pretty as 10 jack suited. Excuse me. Will not be defending. With proper bankroll management, I don't think I was supposed to really be taking shots at 20 NL at a $200 bankroll. It's not outrageous, but I think I should have stuck to 5 for a while. It's just Zoom games don't run at 5 cent 10 cents for some reason. There's usually a lot more people in the 2 and 5 and 10 and 25 for whatever reason that may be. And I make a little speculative call. I'm not sure. I'm going to fold again to the double barrel. Big slick on the left. Going to raise it up. And it folds through. He shoves. Yep, I'm gonna have to call. Sevens, classic race. Just gonna dodge a 7 and scoop it. I do think it's kind of dumb you can only play 2 tables at once. I think it's dumb you can only play 4 tables max, so if anything else. Pretty sweet flop. That's why you call with the 10 jack. He shoves. What a dream. Do I call or... No good. So obviously we had a little bit of run good. But I ran pretty bad later. I played after the session. And it's not hard to get it back. I think there's obviously a lot of variance, but it seems like a lot less variance than if I were playing just regular 6 maxes. I don't know why. I think Zoom Poker is just more fun too. I love not waiting. It was a great idea, honestly. Whoever made it up, Poker Stars or whoever it may be. And this is what tends to happen when you min raise, is they get crazy and they always try to outplay you, which is fine when you have big hands, but with a hand like this, do I like betting? Maybe not. Probably the best hand, but if I had a jack, would I really bet there? Although if I had 5s, I would probably bet there too, so maybe he just had a lone ace and gave it up. Did not hit our set. We are set mining. So we are done with that. We have a gut shot to the nuts. No, we don't have anything, so I think I'm just going to check give up. Pretty standard session so far. Nothing too much to talk about. I think there are some spots later on. I might just skip around here. We get some jacks, I get 75 cents. I fluctuate between min raising and 3xing. I don't think there's any particular pattern I choose to do. Although I do always min raise with aces or kings, just because people seem to just always want to re-raise you. Could have checked back, but kind of a scary board. I think this is the hand. This is my favorite hand. And you will see why this session is titled Bad Beat. So we're going to be set mining on both tables. And he makes it 250. And when he calls, I'm priced in. And I am licking my chops. I mean, if he shoved, I would kind of be sick to my stomach. But he folds. And this is why this hand was strange. Well, this is why this hand was great. Because obviously we turn a great card. I was worried about this guy having aces or jacks or queens with that re-raise. But once he folds, I'm not worried about this guy having aces or jacks at all. And obviously right now I'm not worried about anything because I just turn the quads. And I think it is a easy check because that is the sweetest of all turns. and he's just gonna lead because he could have a jack, right? And even if he has aces up, I mean aces full, and when I check and he just bets pot, he definitely has to call if he has a jack. Although when I shove here, I'm never I'm never bluffing really. I either have a jack at worst or aces full. In this case, quads. But I would I might fold in this spot. No, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think that your opponent just shows up with aces full so much here that it's you're calling. He's getting he's getting 3-1, but you're at best chopping. You're never just I'm never he's never just winning this hand. So that was a sweet pot, $82.45. That was awesome. And then I just make a donkey call over there with the deuces. And then I decided to go back and see what hand he had. He did have a jack. There's really no point going back. No, that's not it. I think I could have called on that over there with the king jack. Yep, here it is. I think this is gotta be the hands down the biggest pot I've won since I started the challenge. I and you know what? It really is its own fault for calling the flop bet because I mean if he's really that smart to think that I called a min raise and then he sees me leading and the other guy folds. I guess jacks are good because I'm not doing that with too many aces, but he did it to himself. And obviously my check on the turn is fantastic because he would have just folded on the turn, I'm pretty sure. So it's always good to run good. It's just pretty sweet to look at. Pretty bad flop on the left, but we are more likely to win. Oh, I just give it up. Say you got it. And then after this, I don't know if there's too many more spots to talk about, really. I mean, Zoom Poker is pretty self-explanatory. And I think I'm just going to keep grinding out these mid-stakes. Or, not mid-stakes, well, mid-micro stakes for a while. There is a 50-cent dollar Zoom games that run pretty much all the time. But I think if you're playing 50 cent a dollar, you probably have a good understanding of what you're doing. So I think it's going to be a lot harder to beat. But at this level, it just seems like pretty easy. I mean, I shoved, and I'm raising the button with queens. This guy 3-bet me. I re-raised him and he shoved, and I'm like, how could he ever not have kings or aces here? I mean, he's 5-betting me on the big blind, and I think about it tank, and decide that even if he does, the fact that I could flop a set, plus the fact that he could have ace king, I got a call, and I call, and he has like ace 4 of hearts or something. Like, just, there's still crazy players, and it's not too bad to capitalize on. Had a gut shot for the wheel, but I'm just gonna give it up. The 10 high flush draw. Don't love it, but he bets so small. Now we have top pair, so I'm liking it a little bit more, and he bets 50 cents, got a call. can't fold. He's got jacks. That's okay. I think we played that hand okay. Could have just folded flop. Save some money. Perceive that our 10 high of spades was no good. Not a terrible flop for sevens. And I gotta call. I like raising though, because there's just so many cards that he can bet and I'll fold to. Like, yeah, definitely like raising there more. Because if you get any action, you just fold. That's all there is to it. And then you don't make too many mistakes. Not the best board for nines. Just probably gonna give it up. I don't know how many more good spots there are. Ace queen suited, or not suited, ace queen off. And it just folds to us. Definitely a playable hand. I'm a little tighter with my button raises at these stakes. I'm just a big defender, which I think is a losing play. Like, I think 10 queens a fold, 8 jack should be a fold. I mean, I just have the need, like, I want to just defend. I just want to see flops. Like, over here, I'm in a hand I shouldn't be in, and I'm just giving the money away. It's too exploitable to defend if you're just gonna fold. It's like I'm defending to flop quads or fold. It's not worth it. Oh, then he raises, and this is this is, what did he make it? $2. I think the fact that if he has, I'm gonna just put him on a pair better than threes, because I'm pretty much not gonna be hero calling him all the way down. So I'm getting $1.50 to $4. I'm getting like 2.5 to 1, but I'm like 20% to win the hand, 20% the flop is set. I don't think it's enough to where he's not that deep, so I don't like calling over here because I'm basically just gonna fold, and even if I hit a set, there's not too much value. So I don't like that call. I don't think there's anything too interesting. I think I just kind of dwindled down for a while, then I quit. This is a scary flop because when he limp calls, he has a lot of sets in his range, but there's a good turn card for us. Then he bets pot, so I just fold. see so many aces in Zoom Poker. It's awesome. Although they get cracked all the time by the stupidest hands. See, I think 10 queen there should be a fold. I think I gotta start betting now. If he's a queen, he'll probably call. King 10, I'd rather 3-bet than call. Just like Queen 10. If I'm gonna play Queen 10 suited, I'd much rather like 3-betting than just calling. Because it's not strong enough to really just call. C-bet flop, take it down. I think there's one more hand, big hand, throughout this session, but alright, this is probably interesting here. I think one of my biggest problems about Zoom Poker, something that I continue to not like, is how I feel like I'm losing value a lot. Like, not here. There's not really too much value in a limped pot. We got it's basically the nuts against their range, but a lot of times when I have huge hands, I always check it back. Not check it back, but check it to them, and they always check back. And then, because I'm always thinking that they're gonna bet. If they have nothing, they gotta bet. But a lot of the time, they just have showdown, and they decide to just check back, and I feel like they would call bets. That happens to me a lot, and I think it's something I need to work on, is when you're out of position betting to try to get value instead of being greedy and going for the check raise. Basically gonna call every hand with a pocket pair to go set mining. I think it's gotta be profitable in the long run, just because of all the implied odds. I don't know if I like folding. I think I have the best hand here. It's not the worst of flops for queen or jacks. I think I gotta get some value. I think I misclicked. I don't think I'd ever bet 25 cents. And then when he bets here, there's just nothing he would call flop with that would bet early. Because if he had hearts, he had there, and if he had a king, he'd probably bet there too. So it just seems very unlikely that he would pick that spot to bluff in if he was really floating me. Got a gut shot for the wheel. No, I think that's the end of it. So I guess that's the end of this video. Wasn't anything too special. I just wanted to show the quads over top full house, which was pretty sick, and make a video. I haven't made one in a while. I've been playing a lot of this 10 cents, 25 cents Zoom Poker, and it's been going really good, so I'll probably try to get some sessions uploaded sometime. I might just start editing them and having selective hands ready to go, because it must be pretty boring to watch this. But at least I think this is more interesting than the 2 cents, 5 cents. But we are on a heater, so we are up to about $320 something in the account. So I'm gonna plan on continuing the grind up. Took my micro test this week, so I don't have too much to do. So until next time, see you later, guys.